Hello and welcome to The Firm. On the show this week, SEBI takes action against promoters and directors of private sector listed companies with less than 25% public shareholding. Will it do the same to PSUs? Group gets yet another definition. Is the Commerce Department's move good news for sectors with FDI limits?
That is not something which has come overnight. The time frame given was 3 years.
Please show your intent. Don't expect everything from SEBI. I'm giving an assurance that we are willing. But where is the action from your side?
I have made it very clear that those who do not follow SEBI guidelines on minimum public shareholding, they will have to suffer the consequences.
Those consequences became clear this week when the 3-year time period to comply with the 25% minimum public shareholding norm came to an end. On June 4th, SEBI passed an interim order imposing sanctions against promoters and directors of 105 companies that have not yet increased their public shareholding to 25%. The non-compliant promoters and directors have 21 days to make their case, and thereafter, I suppose, individual final orders will be passed based on the merits in each case. Will SEBI's bark be worse than its bite? Vaismani Upadhyay gets experts thinking aloud. Adani Ports, Bombay Rayon Fashions, Omax, Tata Teleservices, Videocon Industries and 100 other companies have failed to comply with the 25% minimum public shareholding norm. Now their promoters and directors are faced with multiple sanctions, including the freezing of voting rights and corporate benefits such as dividend, right shares, bonus shares, split shares, with respect to the excess of proportionate promoter shareholding. Promoters and directors of non-compliant companies have also been prohibited from buying, selling or dealing in their company's shares except for the purpose of complying with the 25% norm. They have also been restrained from taking up any new position as director in any listed company.
I find the nature of the order, while it seems to be remedial in nature, it ends up being punitive. So I think there are two issues from a legal perspective. One is, I think it's well established that the remedial parts of SEBI, which we call directions, cannot be punitive in nature, and this seems to be getting into punitive territory rather than kind of correcting the wrong. And the other aspect is that I think it's a bit of an overkill, I think, in terms of these are not manipulators, these are not people who are damaging the market per se. They have missed the deadline, sure. They have technically kind of not been in compliance with the minimum public float, but that hardly seems like something which requires the same level of enforcement action as manipulation or insider trading.
It is more or less on my expected line, but one provision has lost a little bit of punch from the order, because what they have done is that they have frozen the proportionate right of the voting and dividend. Now, as a result of which, what is happening is this, that there is no impact on the control that they are exercising on the company. So that means there is no pressure. Say for example, today if somebody has a 90% shareholding and you are freezing 60% of its shareholding and balance 30% is not frozen. So when something comes to the vote in AGM, so 10% is the public, 30% is the promoters. So still the promoters will sail through with a 75% majority. Now, had they frozen the entire promoter shareholding or the right to the dividend, then there would have exerted a lot of pressure on the promoter to comply it fast.
Companies Act provides a shareholder and a member voting rights. You can't just by passing an order under SEBI Act as also under SCRA freeze any voting rights. There is no provision under SCRA or SEBI to freeze voting rights. It can levy restraint from accessing capital market or any other order. But surely 11.4, 11B and 12A does not permit that.
It's well established principle that if you have a manipulator of stocks, you can freeze his voting rights. So that is silly to say that manipulators' rights have been enshrined by company law. Company law doesn't allow you to play havoc with the market. So that's kind of a very extreme argument to make. SEBI has powers over economic rights voting rights, all kinds of rights SEBI has.
SEBI has to make an inquiry before it passes an order for the purpose of giving directions. In under 11.4, under 11B, as also under 12A of SCRA. Now SEBI, to my mind, with due and full respect to SEBI, has not done it. If you see the order, it only says that, look, we have time and again informed the promoters and the companies, we have called upon to do it, we have facilitated, and now they have not done it, and which is why we are passing these orders and giving them directions. There is no inquiry which has been conducted. There has to be a serious inquiry as to why the promoters have not done it, or is there a price manipulation on the shares, or is it by any event harmful to the small investors or any investors in the market or the market intermediaries. Without giving any reasons, without causing an inquiry, without providing anything in the order, SEBI has just gone ahead and says, in my opinion, this has not been done, enough chances have been given, and therefore I am passing this order under 11B, 11.4 and 12A, directing the companies from not exercising the voting rights and freezing their proportionate voting rights. To my mind, it's absurd. If challenged in a court of law, surely it would be set aside.
But these are just